Be blessed by the divine. We will now be discussing about harmony in family life. My name is Krish Murali Eswar. I am a trained teacher in the Simplified yoga system of Sri Vethathiri Maharishi. I have been practicing the sky system for the last about 30 plus years. I have been truly blessed with a family that is so understanding and cooperating with me at all times. I fully credit Sri Vethathiri Maharishi, our Guru, and his system and his practices for having blessed me with a wonderful life partner and 3 beautiful children, and of course my parents and my sisters and my extended family of in-laws. I have found that every time there has been a conflict in my life, it is invariably because of my own shortcomings and my own errors. There is, of course, the other reason that I blow up the shortcomings and errors of the other family member in my life. Now, every time I have avoided escalating a problem, it has always been because I did not succumb to my emotions, but instead use my intelligence, my intellect to overcome the shortcomings and errors of myself and others in my family. Why do problems exist in families? What kind of reasons are there for ill will? Now, you know that a family in harmony will prosper in everything that they do. You name a family that you know of and ask yourself, what is the reason for their success or failure? You will find that a successful family is always harmonious. You will find that very clearly. You would want to go back to that home. You would want to be with that family all the time because the people are happy. Not just outwardly happy, not just laughing, smiling when we go and meet them, but they're healthy, they are prosperous, they seem to not want more than what they have, they seem to be content in their life, and they seem to enjoy certain amount of peace that does not seem to exist in other families that we know of. And the reason why they are successful is because of harmony that they maintain within the family, is it not? Now, why there is a problem of ill will? Why there's disharmony in any family's house, family's relationship? And there are 4 reasons that Swamiji talks about. And very clearly, I've been thinking about this and I'm telling myself that I cannot seem to find another reasons why there is conflict in a family. Number 1 is need. 2, measurement or quantity. 3, quality or method or process. 4 is time. When and how frequent. Let's look at the purpose. Why do you need to go for a movie today? Why do you need to buy a car today? Why do you need to buy a house? So there is intent conflict that originates between 2 people in a family. And underlying that intent is the demand, the want, the desire, the need that the person has. The second is quantum. Let's talk about another simple example. It's a nice story that defines how conflicts arises because of quantity in a family. There is a young man in a family who had this job interview in the afternoon to give, but he found that in the morning his new pair of trousers was 2 inches long. He takes it to his mother and requests his mother to stitch it up. Mother says she's very busy, so he takes it to his sister. Sister says she was very busy, so he takes it to his grandmother. Grandmother obviously says, I'm too old, I don't know how to do it. If I get any help, I will do it. So the boy sits down and then he stitches it up himself. After about an hour, he succeeds and he leaves that pair of trousers in his cupboard or shelf, and then he goes about doing his job. And in the afternoon, when he is about to get ready for his interview, and he wears his trousers and find the trouser is 8 inches short. To his utter dismay, he looks around and he asks for explanation, and all the three of them explain. Says, look here, you came for help. At the time when you came for help, we couldn't help you. So I got it stitched 2 inches up, says the mother. The sister says, I also got it stitched to 2 inches up. And the grandmother says, when you are in trouble, we need to help you. Somehow I also worked. I took the help of somebody else and then got it stitched by 2 inches up. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 4 inches, 8 inches shorter. Now, what is this fellow going to do for interview? Start up conflict. So quantity, how much, amount, more or less can be a source of conflict in a person's family. A third is the method or the type or the process. Yes, it takes a lot of strength to overcome how we can remove this conflict. And God has given us this intelligence. Let me tell you a small story. You all must have heard about Mr. Dunlop. Yes, the famous founder of this company called Dunlop Tire. And there is a nice story about how he invented Dunlop Tire Company. Have you heard of the story? There was this neighbor or a relative of Dunlop who was sitting in wheelchair because she was paralyzed, and her wheelchair started to make a lot of noise every time it moved. Seeing the amount of trouble that the lady was going through to reduce the noise, Dunlop decided to do something about it. So he went around asking for help from people, and someone told him that there is this new material called as the tire, the rubber. Why don't you use the rubber and make a nice little tire out of that for the wheel so that the rim starts to make less noise? He tried it, he succeeded, and that was the birth of Dunlop Tire. Now, my friend, there is intelligence in each one of us. If we use the right method, if we know how to succeed, I think we can avoid this conflict forever. Time can also be a significant reason why there is conflict. You may want to buy a car today, you may want to buy a house today. So you might say that let us just go and apply for a loan and a mortgage loan, or go for a vehicle loan and somehow get this vehicle or a home for ourselves. And every time we earn money on a monthly basis, we can always return that money. But your spouse may have a different view. He or she may say that let us save up money. Let us wait for the money to reach to one particular level and then take that savings and go and buy a car. Why do we need to take a loan? After all, when we take a loan, the only person who seems to profit from it is the banker. So that might begin to have a conflict in your mind. And how do you overcome this? How do you maintain peace? There is this why question, and there is how much question. There is this process or how question, and there is this when question. There is why, how much, how, and when. Only 4 reasons why there is a conflict. Can you think of any other reason? How do we maintain peace? How do we overcome these 4 problems or 4 reasons for conflict? It's a very simple formula: adjustment, sacrifice, and tolerance. Now, tolerance is easier said than given. There's a nice story that I would like to share with you of this person called Malik Dinar. He was a Sufi saint. His neighbor was intent on causing trouble for the Sufi saint. So he built a series of toilets right outside Malik's house. And he ensured that the toilets were not maintained properly, because he simply didn't like the look of this saint. He felt that this saint was a fake, and he somehow wants to prove to the people that he is not a very honest and truthful person. And for some reason, he kept on troubling the Sufi saint. And the Sufi saint was so tolerant, and each time he passed by this series of toilets, he would simply close his nostrils and pass through that and enter the house. And it never troubled him. One day, the luck for the neighbor ran out. He fell ill. The Sufi saint volunteered, went there, sat together, and helped him overcome his illness, helped him recover from his illness. The neighbor, with tears in his eyes, held the Sufi saint's hands and said, I'm so sorry. I have troubled you so much. And in spite of my troubling, you have come here to help me overcome this. How did you manage this? The saint laughs and says, what trouble I went through. I did not go through any trouble at all. Every day it was 30 seconds of trouble. And the 30 seconds of trouble, all I had to do was just close my nostrils and go in. But you had undergone a lot of trouble to cause trouble. And therefore I felt very sorry for you, because you had to build these toilets, and you had to make sure that you went through such great depths to maintain it in a very, very shabby condition. It must have been very harsh for you. It must have been very difficult for you to go through this. And I'm so sorry. That is the reason why I came to help you overcome this. The fellow cried. And therein lies the beautiful lesson for us. There is no limit to tolerance. And when we show our tolerance for human beings, at some point of time, they will, become peaceful with us. Adjustment is a beautiful virtue to acquire. You ask yourself, how many people adjust with yourself in order to maintain peace in the society? Far too many. In your own home, in my home, in the society, everybody adjusts themselves in order to live harmoniously with me. How difficult is it for me to adjust? Very easy. If you really want to do it, I can do it. Sacrifice is a very beautiful measure, beautiful tool, a technique for maintaining peace within a family. Let me tell you the story of David Byrne. David Byrne is a very famous television personality in the United States. Now, here is a story that is probably not well known to you of David Byrne. He was a schoolboy, and his physics professor, Dr. Jacobs, used to find his comic interruptions in the class very annoying. Which teacher would not find it? Obviously, this boy was so talented that every third sentence or fourth sentence he will interrupt this teacher and will start to make a joke out of it. But he decided that he will be innovative. He called Brenner one day and sat down with him. Mr. Brenner, look here, now your antics are great. You're fantastic in your comedy show. Now, why don't you conduct a 5-minute comedy show every day before my class? So the next day he announced to the class that, children, David is going to give us a comedy show for 5 minutes. And he let him do the show every class. So David would have his show for the first 5 minutes, and the remaining 35-40 minutes, the physics teacher, without any interruption from David, completed his class. What a beautiful method of how sacrifice could help. A small sacrifice of 5 minutes in a class by a teacher has created a world-famous comedian in David Byrne. What is to be avoided? Fault finding. Well, each time you feel like finding fault with your life partner or your brother, sister, father, mother, son, daughter, why don't you sit and write down all the good thing that you find in them? Over a period of time, you will find that their goodness far outweighs their errors. Can we stop commanding? Please find. Please explore. Stop commanding. Start requesting. My children taught me this. And they so wonderfully taught me this, that they taught me the power of the word please. Thank you. You try and do that. You try and use these two words as many times as possible during the course of the day. You have a lot more success on hand, my friend. I can assure you that much. Do you want to be disappointed in life? If the answer is yes, please have expectations in your mind. If the answer is no, stop removing expectations, because every expectation is imaginary. Yes, you can live without expectation, my friend. It is possible. Try it. And there is so much peace within a family without expectation. So how to achieve it? Avoid ego. I, me, myself. If you remove these three things in your vocabulary, life becomes very easy. Today, children are beginning to use the words Rama and me. Instead of that, the children today use the word I and Rama. I don't know why this change has come about. When we were small, when we used to say I and Vikram, my mother used to say, put the donkey behind. You know what I mean? Put the donkey behind. So I have to train myself to say Vikram and I. And that helped. It always helps to avoid ego in relationship. If the husband and wife maintains cordial relationship between each other, family will become highly peaceful. I am assured of that. And how do we maintain cordial relationship? Very simple. Adjustment, sacrifice, tolerance. If you are able to practice the 3-step mantra every day in your life, you will become peaceful. Adjustment, even in matters relating to physical relationship, is highly necessary in order to succeed in a family. What use is anger? Have you been able to change your life partner's ways, or your son's ways, or your father's ways, or your daughter's methods or behaviors through your anger? No. Not even one behavior has been changed. So why do you get angry at all? Why can't you just find a creative, happy, joyful, peaceful and a calm way, a creative way, an innovative way to solve the problem, to communicate to others of the changes that you would like to see in them? Why don't you set an example for them? Do you get angry because your son is waking up late in the morning? Are you waking up early in the morning? Why didn't you try? Do you want your son to remain healthy, do his exercises and meditation every day? Are you doing it? If you are doing it and you continue to bless him, certainly one day he will learn his lesson and he will follow you, because you have set an example for him. You have to be a role model. The rose does not say, come and smell me, smell me. A rose is a rose. Its virtue, its character is inspiring for others. You have to be like that. You can only preach through your actions. Physical, mental and financial well-being is also highly important in a family. Don't ignore any of that. Please avoid secrets between husband and wife. My wife taught me this. She cannot hold a secret in herself at all. Every little thing that happens to her, she has to come and tell me. I am so truly blessed to have a life partner like that. It is a joke in my family amongst the children that Amma can never hold a secret to her heart. She has to blurt it out. It's not that she is like that. It's not that she was born like that. She grew up like that. She learned to behave like that because she knew that secrets are a destructive weapon in a cordial family relationship. Even income and expenditures should be transparent between husband and wife and children. In my house, we have only one cash box. Tonight, we have a meeting in the house of how we can cut down expenses for the next month and how we can overcome the problem of hiring a servant maid. We have been facing this problem of hiring a servant maid, a stable servant maid, for the last 4-5 months. And I can tell you, I can assure you, I can bet my life on it that the people who will give us the most constructive ideas would be my children. Expenditure, of course, should never exceed income. Yes, it is a challenge. It is a challenge for us to go and restrict ourselves from going and not swiping that credit card to buy a television. I used to be like that. To confess the truth, I used to be like that. But I changed my ways. I decided that I am not going to use my credit card. I haven't touched my credit card for any expenses for the last about 2 years. Yes, my friend, 2 years. I haven't touched my credit card at all. If I have cash, I will spend money from that. If I don't have cash, I will not buy something and I will postpone it. 99% of the time I have succeeded in doing that. Unavoidable circumstances, 1%, with the consent of at least my wife, I would go and borrow some my credit card or something else to make sure that I do something very, very short term, 1 month, 2 months, maximum like that. That's it. Because the credit card is one big challenge that will kill the peace of any family. I can assure you of that. Don't you want to be understood? Don't you want to be shown respect for your ideas? Why should it be different for others? If you show ideas, respect for ideas of your children, your family, you will definitely get more respect. Respect is one thing that has to be earned, isn't it? I have to earn the respect of you, and then only, I can start to feel good about having worked hard for it. If I ask you to give me respect, do you think I will earn it? Why should it be the other way around in your home? Why can't we earn respect from our own children and from our own, spouse? With this, I wish you good luck. May the Almighty Force and the divine blessing of Guru shower you with good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, fame, and wisdom. I am sure you will succeed in putting all these ideas to practice and maintain peace in your family. If you have any questions, you can write to me in my Twitter account at Murali Eswar. You can also write to me in my email ID me@krishmuralieswar.com. Be blessed by the divine.